Today on RB's Toy Box,
you have failed me for the last time.
today on RB's Toy Box, we're going to go through some of the Star Wars stuff that I have here in the toy box. Stay tuned.
Step into the magic on my fun-filled stage. RB's Toy Box is great for kids of any age. From Star Trek to A-Team and retro toys too. Come join on my journey, making videos just for you.
Welcome back to another episode here at RB's Toy Box. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be going over my Star Wars stuff. Now, I hope you like the intro because it takes a little time to put those together, and I really enjoy doing it as long as you enjoy watching them. To give you an idea how something like that was about a 1-minute intro, and it took pretty much started the New Hope on the television in here, and it was running credits when I finished and restarted it to start this video here. So it takes a little time to do green screens and overlays and things of that nature. I know there's AI stuff out there. I haven't figured it out yet. When I do, maybe you'll save some time. But in the meantime, here we go. We've got all kinds of... People ask me, especially when I'm down at the Treasure House in Winter Haven, Florida, working the counter and, waving hi to people as they come in, hoping they go buy stuff in my booth. They find out, hey, I'm RB's Toy Box and I got a collection. And then we start talking about Star Trek because naturally I have such a big Star Trek collection. And the very next thing that everybody asks is, hey man, you got any Star Wars stuff? And of course I do. I mean, what good Star Trekkie doesn't have Star Wars stuff, even if it's just one or two things? And what's kind of added the charm to this, and several other pieces, that's the vendors. Now, I've mentioned it in a couple other videos, and I'm going to mention it really big in this one. Vendors are starting to get smart. And finally, I might say, when you've got like Playmobil and even Play School, Fisher-Price, and even, we start talking about Disney stuff, they're starting to think, hey, the people that are spending money are not the 8-year-olds. They're the 50, it's us, right? We're the 50-year-old generations of people out here spending money on this kind of stuff because, granted, a parent's going to spend some money on a kid's helmet, but who's going to go out and buy Black Series helmets over here and spend $100, $125 a piece for these and start putting together a little collection unless there's some quality to go along with it? And that brings me to my first little prop that I picked up. Now, I've been going back to Disney for about a year now, and one of the big draws for me is when they opened up Galaxy's Edge. Now, Galaxy's Edge has kind of their own little merchandising section, if you will, to the stuff that's specifically branded to Disney versus, the stuff that Hasbro is working with them on. And one of those items that is Disney specific, and by way of this is something you get at Disney. Now, they did I can't remember the manufacturer. If you know the other manufacturer, put it down in the comments below. Which, by the way, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome aboard. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I need to get those watch hours up, please, and I'll try to make it interesting enough to keep you that long. But this is one of those things that, again, got me excited. Because, we got the lightsabers that we picked up, and they're plastic, they're junk, and even the Black Series was good, but it wasn't great, And then you get this thing that you pick up, and you're like, oh, man, this has got some weight to it. And to get something that this thick with this type of spun aluminum and the soundboard that's in here, aftermarket vendors have been putting things together like this for years. But they're just not authentic, right? Disney or Star Wars. And I was really, really happy to see that they were taking the time to put together some quality, some thicker plastic, aluminum, die cast, whatever materials you can, I mean, just something that when you hold it in your hand, you're like, oh, man, that's nice. That's authentic. Instead of the, and the basically flashlight with the expandable plastic thingy on the end of it that, if you couldn't afford one of these Black Series up here, that's kind of what you got stuck with. And they even have a couple versions of that are okay, but it was just good to see them come out with something that was worth the money, worth buying, and something that, honestly, if you take care of something, this is going to last way longer than RB's Toy Box will. My kids will be able to go, man, check this out, as long as they don't, they take out the batteries like they're supposed to. You know me with the batteries and all the acid in there, but if they're taking out the batteries and they're keeping this thing, nice and clean, it's going to be available for so many years to come because it's just made out of some good quality materials. Now, I'm not going to do a full review on this one. There's a lot of people out there that's got some really great videos, both from, I gotta remember that third-party manufacturer. If I think of it, I'll stick it down below. But if you think of it, put it in the comments below. But this, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I'm going to put it up by the microphone. When you put this in, the blade in, I hope you heard that, but it's like, ka-ching. It makes this little cool sound, and when you pull it out, it makes the same sound. That's a little extra something that somebody sitting around goes, well, we may make that blade when it goes in, it makes a cool noise. And that's the little stuff that drives us collectors crazy, right? I mean, admit it. That's the kind of stuff that we go, oh, that's really cool. And this one also has a little piece down at the bottom, so when you pull the blade out, and you hit your Enterprise up there, that you can wear it on your waist with one of the clips. See it spinning around up here. Whoopsie, sorry, Kirk. Didn't mean to smack you there. All right, so, but this is one of my newer favorite things that I've had it about a year. It's one of the, I don't want to say the first thing I bought at Disney when I started going back. But it was, I saved up some pennies to buy this because when I saw it, this was by far of the ones that they had there. And, you have some, this is like one of the newer series characters, lightsabers. But, they had Vaders there, they had Skywalkers there, they had those, and those were cool. But this one with the extra removable pieces and stuff, beautiful. I mean, it's just the extra work, I just had to have it. It was so pretty. Now, there are two places inside of Galaxy's Edge that you can buy this and several other good aluminum hand spuns. The one is up where the Millennium Falcon is, right up the ramp. There is a place up top. It looks like a restaurant, and you will pass by it if you don't know it's there. But it's on the left when you come up the ramp, and you go inside, and it's just like, oh, it's just... it's like 3 stories up, and it has all these cool like movie props and stuff. It's beautiful. I'll go in there and just gawk for a while because it just has so much cool stuff in there. And inside of there is where you get one of these. Now, if you go downstairs, go out, hang a left, go to the stairs and go down, or if you're in a wheelchair like me, when I go to Disney, I can't walk more than 50 feet without help, so I have my scooter. You've seen the videos of it. And you go down the ramp, go back up to the bottom of the stairs, and there's a place down there that you can build these instead. Now, if you build them, the chip, or the little crystal inside, is replaceable. And the soundboard, everything's basically replaceable. And the chips that you buy, that show the different lights and the different personalities, if you will, of the saber and the stories, those don't work with the ones that you buy upstairs. but the ones that you get downstairs that you make an appointment for and you build them, you can get those. Now they're more expensive than this. And for me, while that was still a cool feature, this was plenty enough for me, so I didn't spend the extra $100 to, you know, do that. You can also pick up one of these, which is very lightly illuminated, but it's just like a little saber stand. And, you know, it's okay. I mean, I won't nitpick it apart too bad, but, I mean, it's nice and all, but it doesn't work with this particular lightsaber as well as maybe some of the other ones do. Now, we've done some reviews in the past on these helmets, and I have, let me try to look up here. I got Darth Vader, I have a Luke Skywalker, and then another one of the X-Wing fighter helmets up here, and then I have Boba Fett, and then I have two more down here that these are all from the Galaxy Edge, by the way. This is the Black Series with Darth Vader up here, but all of these are from the Galaxy Edge, and they all have sounds. Now, in comparison to the Black Series, you can look at my video for that, but this one has just one speaker in the back, and it sounds fantastic, by the way. You can't really tell that it's not stereo. And then it has this little piece over here that plays quite a lot of sounds, to be quite honest. And I have a couple of those. Actually, I have a few that are for sale down at RB's Toy Box in the booth at Treasure House. And then I have this one here that you may have seen in some of the social media that I've done. But this one I picked up dirt cheap at a flea market somewhere. And I mean really cheap. And so I gutted the insides of it and I put in actual Bose headset inside, or, you know, headphones. And so I could plug it in and watch TV, Star Wars, while I had my Luke Skywalker helmet on watching Star Wars. That's just me. That's the kind of stuff I like to do. Now I'm going to look at a couple of other things here. I'm going to move the camera around a little bit and try to give you a better perspective of some of the other things that I have, and talk about a few of them and things that I like and things that I think could be better, because this is my channel and I can give opinions if I want to. I'm just saying. But there are a few shortfalls in a couple of these products, but most of them are pretty good. So let's take a look at, you know, spin you around, take a look at a few other things.
And now, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of your hidden rebel base.
Okay, so we've got, these are the helmets that I was talking about that I have. A sign my kids gave me, I don't know, a while back. And this is totally vintage. Anybody know what this is right off the bat? Anyone? 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 Yes, you guessed it. This is a cassette player. Oh, this was new stock. In other words, it was brand new. And I was able to pick this beauty up. And it's got the sound effects with it. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but it's really, and it's brand new. I mean, this was from, like, you know, the mid 80s, maybe even early 90s. I have to go look at the box and see, but really nice piece there. Now I'm going to move down a little bit. Here's the other two helmets that I was talking about. Let me move this camera pole here. And this is the headphones jack that goes to the earpieces inside. Now this, this is, somebody once said this was like a holy grail item. I don't know. I honestly have never looked for one, but when I came across one, I had to get it. And I got this at Crumb's World, north of Orlando, Florida, and they have quite a nice little selection of things that they get in from here and there. But it's really nice. Watch this. How cool is that? And inside here is the book that, you know, has the different Jedi, you know, stuff they found there in the cave that has ripped up pages, and notes from other Jedis, and little things in the margin, and schematics, and it's got like a piece of hair from, you know, from a Padawan that's turning into a Jedi, and Just all kinds of different. It's a really cool little book. It's got, and it comes again just with these little pieces stuck in the pages for you to go through and discover. And then it slides back down in here. I wish it would like close, but you got to manually kind of slide that closed like that. I also have this right here, which is kind of the same thing, only it's got the dark side of the Sith and the, you know, the Force, and it's kind of just like these, only, you know, in a little bit of a different format. And then I got this here, which is the Bounty Hunter Code book, and that also is pretty cool. It's got kind of like the same things written in the same cartoon, not cartoon, but the same kind of graphics are in it and throughout, but it's just kind of cute on a Saturday afternoon with, you know, Star Wars playing in the background to open those up and flip through them a little bit and educate yourself a little bit on the Star Wars community. All right, let's move around here. This, some of you might remember from The New Hope. And that comes with this little guy right here. I picked this up at the Galaxy's Edge, but this is a lightsaber trainer. So it keeps score, and you turn this thing on and it lights up on the end, and then you gotta move it around as it, you know, shoots, and then it vibrates and you know, keep score as to whether or not it hit you or not. It'd be nice if it shocked you, but it don't. Now this also goes along with some of the stuff I was talking about where they just got better with the quality. Now I'll get this out of the way because that's not what I'm talking about. But this right here also down at the Galaxy's Edge. And this is the medal that they wore there at the very end of The New Hope. And, you know, Luke and Han Solo were awarded by Princess Leia with one of these medals. Now, they've been on back order since I bought this one. And my son wants me to get him one, but it's just, they've been out forever. They also have these Imperial credits up there, and they're not bad price. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this one was 30 bucks, but they're nice cast metal, so they're not like plastic cheapy stuff. Again, they're figuring it out. This is nice cast metal, not thick plastic or anything. This is, you know, that's metal. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's just very, very nicely done. The box is really nice. It's just, again, they've just dove into some quality merchandise, and this is only like 30 bucks too. So, you know, not bad for something that doesn't look like just some cheap junk. Now, this I got from a vendor a while back, and this is just hollow plastic. It's not resin or anything. And it's certainly not the one that came out in the 70s or anything. Now, some of you probably have one of these. It's the broomstick handle, you know, pistol from World War II that, you know, that they fashioned this one out of with the extra pieces on it. And they sell these kits for this. This is an airsoft pistol that you get the little kit to make it look like Han Solo's pistol. Now, you may ask, do I have the belt? I don't. One of these days, I will get it. But until then, I don't have it. Sorry. So let's look at a few more things that I've got here. The biggie stuff, I have quite a few things that I have accumulated here and there. Would be this right here, one of the Stormtroopers battle axes kind of thing. It's okay. It's really glitchy. Doesn't flop out all the time, but you know, this is all like floppy plastic. This is nice spun aluminum. This is a harder plastic, but these probably just to keep down on weight and not to burn the motors out. You know, they're cheaper plastic like that, but you know, it's still pretty cool. Definitely makes a nice showpiece because it comes with this nice stand right here. You can tell I need to dust. And then I picked this up at Monsters and Gods and Monsters in Orlando, Florida, and it is the blueprints all of the blueprints. And I tell you, you can just sit there for hours and flip through that book. And it's got all kinds of stuff in there. I also have quite a lot of the little Matchbox cars. I think I got 2 complete sets of the 2 different versions that came out. I have this R2 Build-A-Book that has like a little R2 you can build out of it with a soundboard and everything. I have the remote control BB8. I have the remote control R2D2, which he's, by the way, you might want to pick one of these up. I know Spiro put these out quite a few years ago, and you can actually pick these guys up really, really cheap. What's cool about this one, if you leave him plugged in to the USB, he goes into sentry mode. And so, you know, when you walk into the room, you know, it's like, beep, 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 you know, it starts going a little crazy, letting you know that somebody's in there, and that's kind of cute. And if nothing else, you know, you can talk to it all day long. And I have a few lightsaber boxes. I have the Mr. Potato Head. Down here, I've got a couple of characters here and there. Some stormtroopers and helmets, and these little things from Funko Pop. They're always cute. I love getting a hold of these. And I got one there for Luke Skywalker. And then another one here for Stormtrooper. And I think this one was one of the, what do they call it? That one. Whatever. I can't remember. Brain fog for us old people. Now, let's move over here. I've got a version of the Millennial Falcon. This one's pretty nice. It's got the big cannon that pops out of the front here. You can open it up and put your characters in. Comes with this one and this one. Oops, cover space. And then I've got the Funko Pop one. I have a Bluetooth back here. And then here's some of those lightsabers I was looking for earlier, just tucked back in the corner there, the cheap plastic ones. Now, they've recently come out with these. And let me show them to you a little bit more closely.
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly? No. Good. It would be unfortunate if I had to leave the garrison here.
Now, for some of us, we don't necessarily need, by the way, I had the little, you know, machine that this is supposed to spin on top of here, but the base didn't come with it. But for some of us, all we want is a little piece of history. We want something that reminds us of something that's really cool. And Funko Pop, I know some of you are yelling at the screen right now just mentioning the word Funko Pop. But they do fill a need. You know, for an inexpensive price, you can get a little piece of history. Something that reminds you of what you had. Maybe a toy when you was a child. Maybe a movie that you saw. They help fill that in a cute way. And what these are mini pops. So this one comes with a little Millennium Falcon. And then it has the little character inside it. And when you take them out, they look like this. Little bitty Funko Pop boxes. And, you know, they're connected here with a transparent bottom. And they look just like the Funko Pop that you would get full size. And then with that, you can get these little Funko Pop carrying cases, if you will, or display cases, I should say, to put the different ones in there. And then it's not Funko Pop, it is it's these. I'm trying to remember what the name of these are. Stackables? Doorables. My daughter got me into these. But they're these little scene sets here. And there's quite a few of these. But again, you can collect these and I have like 4 of the sets right here. And then several of these little guys. Aren't they so cute? They're so cute. And they got R2D2. He's so cute. Look at how cute he is. And I've got, you know, Ray. I've got the Mandalorian. And I got this here. He's fuzzy. This is actually fuzzy. Isn't that cool? But anyway, little stuff like this that you can collect, you can put in, you know, your collection. And if you don't have a bunch of retro stuff, if you don't have a bunch of expensive pieces that I've collected, you know, you can pick up, you know, a Millennium Falcon with the new Hasbro. I mean, these things are probably going for about 60 bucks. And you got a really nice Millennium Falcon for your collection. Millennium Falcon. And then, you know, even one of the Funko Pops ones, you know, you can still get these at a variety of different vendors. And this is a goodly little size, about 30 bucks, maybe 40, depending on where you get it from and how many they got in stock. And then you got these little Funko Pops, you got these Doorables over here. You can have you a nice little Star Wars, you know, area that's got these cool little things in it without spending a small fortune, and letting people know when they come over, hey, I got a little Star Wars collection, and it's really, really cool. And that's kind of where I would want to wrap up today's, you know, anthem, if you will. When it comes to collecting, you collect your passion. But sometimes your passion doesn't have to represent something that is, you know, retro, like the Superman collection here, where you can't really get much new stuff. You've got to go back and get the vintage stuff. But things, the larger franchises, Star Wars, Star Trek, you know, things Playmobil's put it out, and you can get some of the more modern items that remind you of the cool stuff that you had when you was growing up without it costing you a fortune. So let me encourage you, get out there, get collecting, find something you enjoy, share it with the world, put down the comments below, share your collection. I want to see it. If it's a passion for you, it's a passion for me. I love seeing other people's collections and what really motivated them. And it could be old pinball machines. It could be Star Wars. It could be Star Trek. It could be Voltron. Matter of fact, we might even have a video here in the very near future on Voltron, right here, one of my favorites. Yeah, you guessed it, and I have a few things with Voltron. Man, a lot of them are new, right? I don't have a lot of retro Voltron stuff. One or two small pieces. The rest of them are, you know, like this one with, you know, hey, this is a Funko Pop. Is it out of proportion? Yes, it is. But is it still cool? Yes, it is. And, you know, you might have somebody down in the comments that goes, Funko Pops is horrible. You know what? That's the opinion. That's the blessing of a collection, because if it means something to you, man, don't cut down other people's stuff. If you're doing a product review and you got something positive or negative, you know, obviously that, but you know, if somebody loves Funko Pop, let them love Funko Pop. Somebody's a big Star Trek guy, let him be a Star Trek guy. If somebody's a big Star Wars guy, let him be a Star Wars guy. But enjoy it, and enjoy it in a way that you want to share it with others. And stay out there, stay collecting. RV's Toy Box signing off, and I will see you on our next video. Stay tuned.
Step into the magic on my fun-filled stage. RV's Toy Box is great for kids of any age. From Star Trek to 18 and retro toys too. Come join on my journey, making videos just for you.